You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Archer After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Archer After Show.
Oh, how I have longed to hear that music. Oh, it feels so good to be back on the microphone and hearing my own beautiful voice projected back into my ears. Ladies and gentlemen, this is AFTERBUZZ TV. We are talking about Archer, Season 5, Episode 1, brand new, diving in, White Elephant. I'm your host, Greg Goodness, and with me are some very lovely, special fellow Archer fans. Go around the table, introduce yourselves, people.
Hey guys, I'm Roya.
I'm Scott. I'm back for my sophomore season, and Greg, I missed you so much too, so it's good to hear that golden voice again.
It is just so soothing. I'm Zach, and thank you for having me.
Oh, we are happy to have you, Zach. We are happy to be back because, oh my God, we had a lot to talk about. We just burnt down an entire series, and we are building it from scratch.
We literally, figuratively burnt it to the ground.
Very first thing we see.
Well, and literally.
Yeah. Very first thing we see in this episode, not only is a very nice coordinated dance number to Swan Lake, but then right before the titles roll, we see Isis blown to smithereens and held on for a very, very long period of time. This was all new to me.
Mallory still had her drink in her hand. She
course.
still was rocking it. You know?
Yes, that's my hero there.
Yes.
She is my spirit animal.
It's important to have priorities, especially when you're around the ISIS office.
Absolutely.
I was completely taken aback by this. I had heard rumors. I heard things going in, people saying, I've heard some chatter around the internet. Things are going to be different on
block your
Archer
ears
this season. Yeah, and I tried to focus out because I like the surprise. And now ISIS is no longer even an agency.
Yeah, even with the surprise, even having the idea, I didn't expect it to happen right at the very beginning of the episode.
Well,
I thought they at least teased it a little bit.
Apparently it wasn't even an agency to begin with, a legit one.
Yeah, right.
So they snipped it.
Well, they just blow up the building and just linger on it for a good 5-7 seconds or so.
Well, we were talking about it towards the end of last season. Me and Scott were like, listen, ISIS has been doing a whole lot of stuff that falls into what could definitely be considered a moral gray area. They're definitely not sanctioned by any particular government or agency. They're kind of just killing people for the highest bidder. And so it was great to see, just like right out in the first act. Listen, you guys have not been operating under the jurisdiction of the United States, and this is totally not okay. You're getting charged with mostly treason.
And it was good because like we were talking about last season too, it was like when Mallory was kind of going down the dark path. Like she's just getting a little too powerful for her own good. So it was nice to see kind of get the repercussions for that right off the bat at the beginning of season 5 here.
And it was great that they called attention to it, too. Because if you're going to burn down ISIS headquarters, the immediate question, the gut reaction is, why? And they lay it all out for us right when everyone is in the confessional room. They're like, listen, we've done some horrible things. And they list off every awful thing that they've ever done.
Mallory was sleeping with the head of the KGB for about 30 years. Then we killed the head of the KGB.
Bum fights.
Piracy. Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds making a lot of appearances in that list, which nothing particularly objectionable about Burt Reynolds. I don't know why it kept coming up. But it was refreshing to actually see that and to sort of prep the viewer for like, all right, guys, this is why we had to do this. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. That's kind of what I took away from that scene.
I thought it was great. I mean, yes, they were basically like, these are all the reasons why this is logical. This isn't just like we pulled this out of nowhere. This had to happen.
Well, and I do think, some of the things we were reading, and I do think there is something to be said about, you're just they got kind of bored and they're kind of tired of being trapped by what they created. So this is a way to, figuratively and literally hit the reset button and start all over again. And it's also very risky, too. It's a risky thing to do.
Absolutely.
A lot of people think, oh, it's jumping the shark. Is that going to ruin what the show had? And it is risky, and I think it's kind of adventurous, but I think if any show could pull it off, it would be them. It would be Archer to be able to do it.
And they definitely did. So.
Yeah. And they definitely did. So we'll see how that works out for them as the season progresses, if it was the right move or not.
I think it's definitely the right move. The show could have gone on infinity, just going and doing fun little things. But if you look at Adam Reed's past, he has a history of setting up shows that go off the rails super quick. And I'm always reminded of this one moment from his previous show, Frisky Dingo, where they bring in a man who was previously mentally challenged, but they inject him with a serum so he's no longer mentally challenged, and he looks like the exact duplicate of the protagonist of the show. And if it sounds confusing, it was.
I just let it go over my head then. I was like, just nod.
The point being, they immediately shot him in the head and had the explanation of, listen, this just got too confusing. This sounds too... They said this in the show, mind you. This is all getting too confusing. It's a lot easier if he's just dead. And with all the crazy stuff that they listed off, you kind of get the impression, like, yeah, like how were these people able to operate? They abducted the Pope at one point. Like, where do you go from there?
I think that was part of it. They just Adam Reed got bored. He's like, I've done this show for 4 years.
Yeah.
But the cojones on that man to just say one day, let's change the entire premise. But I think if what we saw in this episode is any indication, I think it's gonna stay good.
And that reminds me, what happened to Woodhouse?
I was actually going to ask about that for later down the when we
I
get
just thought about that
sketches,
now that we were talking about the Pope episode. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
He's still hanging around in Rome, presumably. They didn't address that.
I know.
There are probably still a lot of loose ends
Yeah, I'm sure.
that the ISIS agency needs to tie up.
Yeah.
Well, they got rid of Brett really quick. It was just they even said it in a line. Oh, he's dead. So he died doing what he likes doing, getting shot.
I know. Dying what he likes doing best.
Yeah.
And we learn his last name.
Yeah.
Brett Bunsen.
I would like to draw attention to just the really deep symbolism of Brett dying. I mean, if anything, Brett was the anchor for Archer.
You're absolutely right. No, you bring up a really good point because he was that anchor, that foil that they had from all the first 4 seasons. So it was, in a way, like just ripping off the Band-Aid to have that complete reboot by killing him off right away too. So that's a really good point.
These stakes are real. Brett has died.
Things have never been more serious. Brett is dead, you guys.
Right. Long live Brett.
But as you pointed out, as everyone has been pointing out, if this episode is any indication, they're going to keep doing the same crazy stuff that they have always done. Just because they are no longer agents, they are obviously still going to utilize those same agent skills.
Absolutely.
And all of the characters are going to be the same, except for Carol Cheryl, who is now a country star.
I know. It's like, whoa. The other interesting, too, that we could bring up, too, by this risky move is the fact that I assume they got a lot more money in their budget this year, too, because, it's very expensive to do the animation, and then to be able to kind of start and do this whole trip and completely blow up the office and start fresh. I mean, that's an expense, and getting rid of a lot of those other things that they were using before. So that's another big risky move on their part, too, was to just be able to kind of start over again on the animation as well.
You're literally getting rid of your home base, the place that you can always go.
Exactly.
And now you're just outlaws with new scenes in every episode.
So it's another risky move on
backgrounds.
their part, yeah. I think it's really cool, though.
I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. You know who is probably not looking forward to it? Lana's baby, who had a gun pointed at him by his own mother in this episode.
I thought it was really harsh when she told Archer when he proposed to her, "I'd rather lose the baby." Like, don't take this the wrong way.
Yeah.
What? That's ouch. You know?
I mean, she lays it on the line. She could start smoking crack,
Yeah.
and it would be better than him.
So where did the baby come from? I mean, he said Archer was making fun of her about saying how it was a donation baby, or not sperm baby.
That almost felt like it came from truth, though.
Yeah.
Like some truth that they have not brought up before.
Right? Because Cyril obviously doesn't know where it's from because he's still calling it a bastard child from an unknown man.
Yeah, I took it as that they still kind of left that open for us. That they're not ready to fully reveal that yet. So I kind of like the fact that it's still a little mysterious. Like, who is it? Because we could obviously think the choice there being Archer, but I like the fact that they're kind of leaving it as a tease there.
Not off the table.
Yeah.
It is a spy agency, after all, or was a spy agency. Lots of lying going on.
Yeah.
Me and Zach were watching the last episode of the 4th season, just as a memory refresher.
You
and
guys are so smart.
Well,
Going back to refresh it.
no, because that was a question that we had. It was, now, who again is the father
But
of
see,
this
they
baby?
never said who it was.
No, and they
That's what's great
established
about
that it is definitely not Cyril.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have any lawyer/accountant
Yes.
baby blood in him. But unknown father.
That's right.
And I guess they're pacifying it by saying that, okay, it's just a random sperm bank donor. And listen, guys, there are bigger things going on in this episode that you need to worry about.
Okay.
I think that'll be revealed in due time. So
Well, it
I'm
could
okay
just-
with that.
It could be a throwaway line, like, or
Yeah.
something like maybe she even says sperm bank to just say that it's not Archer's because she probably doesn't want to admit it.
Right.
Right.
What's interesting about this, though, is I think that they are really making a commitment to sticking with this baby. Because not to question Archer's fathering skills, but anyone remember Seamus?
Yeah.
Has anyone seen it in about like 3
I know.
seasons or so? And I think Lana, if the previews are any indication, this is going to be something that she's dealing with.
Yeah.
And
And
not
yeah.
just some random thing that they throw away a few episodes down the line.
And I like that, actually. I like that they're sticking to that because that takes a commitment there on their part. And I do. I think because it's going to add a whole other layer to the show. So I think it's good that they're sticking with it.
Well, we got in the little like preview trailer thing that happens, and we'll get into that later, but there was a little shot that was very quick of Lana, very pregnant, looking exactly the same as Mallory did when she was pregnant with Archer in like the middle of nowhere when she gave birth to him in a bar with Woodhouse.
Yeah.
No, do not wind her up. That is a big gun, and she is baby crazy.
Oh my god! It all comes together! Right? Since episode 1, they've been laying the pieces.
Right.
What I like about this, though, is that it raises the stakes for Lana, too.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you see it right at the beginning of the episode where she's ducking behind the pillar, like, you dicks, I'm pregnant. I have a baby inside me. Stop shooting at me.
Yeah. Again, it like changes the whole dynamic on what she's going to be able to do and everything, and then later on with the baby. So yeah, I love that extra layer there.
I just hope it doesn't go the route where it's always. Have you guys watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Have you ever seen? You know when Dee gets pregnant and then
Right.
they just turn it where she's giving away the baby. Like it was no one else in the gang. They were trying to figure out who the kid was. I just hope they don't go down that route for Archer, where they're like, oh, who's the baby? And then Lana's like, doesn't matter. I'm giving it away because it's from a sperm bank. You know, kind of a cheat way of getting rid of the baby. I'm just saying. I hope they don't go that way.
I don't.
You guys are both. All of you guys just like.
No.
Oh.
But I'm just saying, like, no, I don't think they will because the fact that they're now putting it out there. You know, they're putting the commitment in there. She's pregnant, and they're going along with it. And I think it's something that now, again, part of the whole reboot is something they can add this extra layer, another character, another challenge to throw Lana's way. So I think they'll definitely keep him around.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The counter argument to that, if I may,
Go
and the
for it.
reason why I was giving you that little look is, do you really want a baby as a permanent member of the Archer crew? Like, that's a totally different show.
It is.
Spy Baby, I would watch that show.
It is.
But it's a totally different show.
Well, they got rid of Archer's son already, so they could probably
They
do it
did.
again.
I can't imagine them doing that right away. I think maybe down the line if it doesn't work, but I think they're going to have to work with it and add some new parameters in there somehow, some way.
It's gonna be Brett's kid.
That'll be
decided.
It's going to be
Brett.
the season 6 reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seamus and Lana's baby spinoff.
Yeah, really. They'll really jump the shark and they'll go like 15 years in the future for the next season. So.
Or Archer Babies. A
Oh.
Muppet Babies type show.
Yes. We were already talking about Muppets
Yeah.
laying the
Oh, there you go. They are. You may be onto something there, Zach. Wow. Okay.
Guys, speaking of laying the groundwork, you know what we got to lay the groundwork for? iTunes and people rating and commenting.
That's right.
You like hearing us talk? You like hearing us talk about Archer and doing topics and creating free spin-off shows that I definitely want a piece of the royalties when it comes through? Well, you gotta rate, you gotta comment, you gotta subscribe. It's not that hard. It just takes a couple of seconds. And honestly, all joking aside, it means the world to us here, to all of us, to hear what you think, to hear your ratings, to hear you guys saying, hey, I subscribed and I enjoy it, or you guys are terrible and I hate you. Feel free to direct all of your hateful comments to Zach.
That's right.
Because now that John is no longer with us, he does not have to bear that brunt. It's all Zach now.
Every time
Now falls on Zach.
Every time my phone lights up with a little tweet of hatred and bothers everyone at work, a little joy comes to my life.
That's right. That's how I feel too. It's like wherever that little nugget of hate is, it's like payment to my soul. So please, definitely comment.
Yeah. It lets us know how we're doing, lets us know what to do for the future and where we're going. Hey guys, speaking of where we're going.
Ooh, segue.
Thank you. Very smooth. I am smooth as always. I'm back, baby. They actually did a preview for the rest of the season in the episode. Which is, I mean, you were saying earlier that it is something that is very common in reality shows that they'll do that on
that's
pilots.
Right. Well, because I watch all the trashy reality shows out there, so yes, so I'm used to seeing that. Like, what's coming up this season? Who's gonna fight with who? Bitch slap and all the other stuff. So it was interesting to see Archer go that route again, because we were talking about the whole reboot, because they've never done this before, and it's always, you've kind of been wondering what's going to happen with the season, where's it going to go, which kind of made our stuff a little more fun to guess when we were trying to figure out what was happening. So they did that, and I thought that was a good thing to do because of the reboot. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, it's something not just in reality shows. You see it in dramas and
dramas
everything.
too.
Anytime
Yeah,
they want you to come back, they want to show you what you're gonna get if you stick with the show. They'll give you a this season on.
Exactly.
And this was their way of being like, no, this isn't a weird series finale in the season premiere. There's more to come.
True.
Please keep watching.
Or a weird episode, and then it was just going to go back like nothing happened, the next episode kind of thing. So I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, because this plotline could have easily been a series finale.
Yeah.
Like, then they shut down ISIS and everybody goes their separate ways.
And we all cry alone at night thinking of Archer.
Or they could have just brought it back and been like, okay, now we're going to go move ISIS to another place, that kind of thing, and just acted like everything was normal. So I thought it was interesting that they did that too, just so we knew that they were really changing things up.
I agree that was a good capstone for the episode, if nothing else, because this episode was all about placating fears. And not placating the fears of the characters, placating the fears of us.
Of the audience,
as
absolutely.
an audience. Because we start off right off the bat where, okay, guys, get ready. Brett's dead, and we're burning down ISIS. And then we go into the interviews confessional room where it's like, this is why we needed to do this, is because this show has gotten so crazy. We abducted the Pope. There is nowhere else to go. We have to start anew. And then at the end of the episode, it's, don't worry, guys, stick around. We're still going to be doing the same sort of stuff that we've always been doing. We're going to find ourselves shooting at bad guys and jumping out of planes. Pam's going to get addicted to cocaine. That'll be fun. That'll be really fun. And just stick in, guys. It's going to be fine.
There's a tiger.
Yes, the
Yeah.
tiger.
It looks like we're getting a Life of Pi story.
I had that written down. That's exactly what I had there. I was like, oh, the Life of Pi Raft.
We have more gators. We know
Yes.
that the Yakuza are coming back. Charles and Rudy, all the way back from season 1, if I'm not mistaken.
That
The
was
honey
season
pot.
1. I know. I totally. Yeah, that was crazy to see that.
Yeah.
And I saw that Ron was coming back too, because I was a little wondering what they were going to do with Ron. Was he now going to be a throwaway character? So at least they show him coming back.
Well, they showed him kind of getting shot.
Well, yeah. But at least they showed him coming back and doing something. I really thought they were going to throw him away.
In the case of like getting rid of the baby, they're gonna just bring him back. Oh yeah, remember this?
Yeah.
Shoot him dead.
Yeah.
He's done. We don't have to deal with him anymore.
And we did see Woodhouse as well, so we know that he doesn't stay the Pope forever.
Yes, we did see that, and I was happy to see him too as well.
What happened with Mallory's husband?
Well, that's what we're saying about
Was it
Ron.
Ron? Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
that
yeah.
was
So
his name,
that's
sorry.
Yeah, no, but that exactly, because I thought, are they gonna just kind of have a throwaway? Like, what happened
Yeah.
to him? Why wasn't he in the first episode? So yeah.
Yeah. Stray observations really quickly. I'd like to point out that Krieger had a picture of a sheep with a rocket strapped to its back on his drawing board. In the
Wow, that was a good one. I didn't even notice that.
Various animals, I think, with jets tied onto them. Fat Mike is a callback to Frisky Dingo and the Extacles. Fat Mike getting shot a lot back in Adam Reed's previous series. And for those of you who are wondering, I went ahead and Wikipedia'd Mac Davis. He wrote for Elvis Presley, which is why we heard In the Ghetto in that season.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Any other things that you
Tries to
guys
show off his
missed?
smartness in front of.
I'm showing off my
Make us-
Wikipedia reading skills. Totally different thing. Anything else that you guys noticed that we have to get off of our chest?
I mean, if you didn't get the Muppets reference, go watch the Muppets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great, though. I absolutely love that. You know, when it was the whole thing. Beacon, what was it? Beaker's boss was Bunsen freaking Honeydew.
That was
Actually, it was great too because I couldn't remember his name either, though. So that was great.
Yeah, for once they actually pay off an obscure reference.
Yeah, like thank you because I forgot who his boss was too.
You know, guys, we've been talking a lot about what we think is going to be happening over the series. But the good people at Uprocks were able to interview Matt Thompson, who is an executive producer on the show, and he actually laid down some fat knowledge of what's going to be happening. We have an entire country album to look forward to from Cheryl Carroll, who is now known as Charlene. 12 songs they recorded.
And real songs too. Like I was really impressed by that.
I fully expect to be able
wow.
to pick that up at my local Sam Goody.
Sam Goody? Oh, man.
I am older than I seem.
You are reaching back into the annals of time, good sir.
Wow. I'm just going to get the record.
One of those songs is including a Danger Zone cover,
Yes.
a country Danger
Yes.
Zone
Well,
version.
potentially. They said that they may either do a country version of Danger Zone or just a pair up of the two of
Well,
them.
they have to do
somehow.
it. They have to do it now. I mean, because that, and I mean, do you guys think that whole promo thing was just amazing? It was so well done.
The
Oh my God.
music video, the Danger Zone,
The
Yeah.
Top
music
Gun.
video.
Yeah, the whole time. I mean, that was
Danger Zone. Oh,
incredible.
man.
And again, that was a lot of money to spend on doing that. Just that promo. It was fantastic. So yeah, they have to do that now. They have to.
Other things in this article that were worth noting: Mallory, quote, becomes some kind of untethered because she is no longer the boss.
Which is a good point to bring up because it's true because she's not really anymore.
I mean, she's
that
not going to be leading
aspect.
a Coke dealing organization.
She doesn't have the
Questionable.
organizational
Yeah.
skills.
Yeah.
And also, there's going to be an upcoming Smokey and the Bandit episode, which I'm not sure how they're going to pull that off as a... But hey, I leave it into their very, very capable hands.
I believe the voiceover was 24 hours to drive to Texas.
With that in mind, I think let's get that spooky theremin music going.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Oh my god, we have strobe lights
I know.
now?
Wow, this is so fancy.
I forget this is Garrett's first time in the studio.
The theremin
Yes.
music gets more and more exciting every season. All right. Let's go around the horn, guys. Predict something.
Ray's definitely gonna lose his legs again and again and again and again. Just gonna throw that out there, you know. So that's my one prediction I know will come true.
I know it's really tough this time because of like seeing the whole preview. I'm like, okay, what is it that's gonna happen that I don't know?
Yeah. What does it mean?
What does it all mean?
I think that's the real question. Zach, any particular glimmers of insight?
I mean, we talked about it earlier, but I think Archer is the father.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I stand by it as it's the most potential for
Yeah, I
comedy.
like that. If I had to bet, I would, but I'd like to see them switch it up. I'd like them just to throw us a curveball.
Okay.
It's Ron's baby.
I predict that not only is Woodhouse coming back, with his prior drug background, he is going to become
the new leader.
the kingpin
Yes, there you go. The kingpin,
of
the
this
proper
little
drug term.
organization.
Fantastic.
I like that.
Yeah.
I really do like that.
All right, guys.
I'm going to steal that one if that's what happens.
I think that about wraps it up for this episode here. If you like hearing my stupid little thoughts, you can find me on Twitter at Greg Goodness. That's right, I retired the old handle. I'm proud.
You guys can find me at Twitter as well at Hey Roya, and I'm also on Instagram at Hey Roya.
And you can find me on the old Twitter at SMan80. I got to change mine at some point. And you can also find me here looking at AfterBuzz starting this Sunday the 19th, and also Klondike starting next Wednesday the 22nd.
You can find me on Twitter at @ZachWilson. That's Zach with a CH. And you can also catch me on Grim, Almost Human, and Helix.
So you're that Zach?
Yes.
It's
That one, not the other
sure.
one.
Okay, got
That
it.
Zach.
All right, guys, thanks for listening to AfterBuzz TV. We've been covering Archer, and we will see you. You know, I'm not going to take John's sign off. We'll see you next time, okay?
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.